It's one thing to make people laugh, but it is another thing entirely to make them smile. This was the primary concern of a wise, incredibly well-read, and mathematically gifted Canadian, who for his slow, rambling, and dim presentation of jokes, which seemingly drifted outside mainstream culture, cut so surgically through Hollywood's slick facade you could miss it. Norm MacDonald made people smile, starting with amateur nights at comedy clubs across Canada, and within 6 months was named one of the country's hottest comics. He would go on to become widely regarded as one of the greatest comedians of our time. First writing on Roseanne, he gained a reputation for his offbeat cadence, bone-dry statements of truths too obvious to voice, delivered with a hardly innocent grin, giving Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update a distinctive irreverence through the 90s.
No, I'm just kidding. We don't hire women.
A gambler by nature, even his comedy put everything on the line, for the thrill of killing a set or deliberately bombing for his own amusement at the bigger picture.
I think he just changed his last name.
Well, you know, a man grows.
When he was fired, the world wanted more Norm. Becoming an unpredictable favorite on the late-night circuit, he starred in Dirty Work, Screwed, his own sitcom Norm, A Minute with Stan Hooper, Sports Show, and cheerfully pointed out the irony of eventually being asked back to Saturday Night Live as a host. Through his interviews on Norm MacDonald Live and discussions among other comedians, there's a certain reverence and admiration for the seasoned MacDonald, who settled into a caricature of a seemingly senile Canadian hoser who rambled aimlessly through Chekhovian moth jokes or ridiculously clean 1920s insults, just to see how long he could string audiences through poetic absurdity. He suddenly vanished, without indicating to anyone that he had been suffering from leukemia for 10 years. In a comedy first, his posthumous special shows a man who could not perform for a world in lockdown, still being silly. For Norm, the smartest person in the room doesn't need to demonstrate his brilliance. The celebrity doesn't need to be slick or aloof. And sickness doesn't have to define the last memories of an old chunk of coal who made people smile.